7 signs someone is secretly jealous of you. Now, let's begin. Number 1, tearing you down. Jealousy and insecurity go hand in hand. We unconsciously get jealous of the people that make us feel small and inferior. See, when you can't see the value in your own accomplishments, you rely on the people around you to give them worth and substance. Their praise makes you feel valuable. It gives you confidence, power, and energy. But what happens when someone more secure or established enters the scene? If they steal the spotlight, how does that make you feel? Some would say angry, others would say lonely. People who can't deal with this lack of attention tend to say jealous. They felt like a big deal before and they want to feel that way again, so they do everything they can to put things back the way they were. But here's the thing, most of the people who get jealous like this don't have the courage to confront you face to face. Instead, they insult or criticize you when you're not there to defend yourself. People gossip like this for 2 main reasons. First of all, you probably intimidate them. While others make them feel powerful, you make them feel powerless. They won't insult you to your face because they're just plain scared. Second, they know that what they're saying is exaggerated or untrue. But if you're not there, you can't call them out on it, which means they can basically say whatever they want. In their minds, tearing you down restores their own image. When you look bad, they think it makes them look good. They start to feel superior again while throwing you under the bus. So what are you supposed to do about it? You can't really call them on it because you weren't there to see it happen, and you definitely shouldn't stoop to their level. Honestly, the best thing you can do is display kindness. That way, you always come out looking like the bigger person, making them feel guilty for talking behind your back. Number 2, hating your advice. Whenever you give someone advice, does their mood suddenly worsen? Do they get mad at you for trying to help? This is actually a common sign of jealousy among friends. I say among friends because in most situations, offering advice isn't the best idea. People don't like it when a stranger randomly weighs in on their life, and I don't blame them. They don't know you and you don't know them. You're just asserting yourself where you don't belong. Even if you're trying to help, unwanted advice can feel patronizing. But when you're giving advice to a friend, you know what you're talking about. You know who they are and where they come from. You have perspective on their life, and they know you want the best for them. So your opinion should matter. Normally, friends value or at least consider each other's advice. But when they get angry or bitter, it may mean they're harboring a bit of jealousy. Maybe they envy something you have. They might think you've left them behind somehow. Without realizing it, your advice is just reminding them of how they've failed. They feel like you're rubbing it in their face, which gets them riled up. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not the problem. Their insecurities are twisting your words. You could say anything and they'd still feel like you're criticizing their life. Number 3, undermining success. Let's say you just got back from the biggest trip of your life. After years of training and planning, you finally scaled your first mountain. When you get back to work the next week, you tell your coworkers all about it. Everyone congratulates you and asks questions, except for one guy who says, "That mountain isn't even that tall. Hundreds of people have climbed it." Jealous people will habitually undermine your accomplishments. Whenever you do something you're proud of, they'll swoop in to make you feel worse about it. They'll say things like, "Everyone could do that," or "It isn't really all that hard," because they wish they had done it themselves. The idea is to make your achievements seem easy even if they aren't. That way, they don't have to feel like a failure in comparison. Luckily, there's a foolproof solution. Tune them out. No matter what they say, be proud of what you accomplish. All that matters is that you set out to do something and you did it. Number 4, petty arguments. Starting arguments is probably the most irritating sign of jealousy on this list. The simple truth is people don't like to lose. When someone is jealous of you, you may seem better than them in a lot of ways. Maybe you get paid more or have a job they've always wanted. Either way, it can feel like you're always winning and they're always losing. So, whenever they interact with you, they're searching for weaknesses in your armor. They want you to have flaws and make mistakes. They bide their time waiting for you to say something wrong. When you finally do mess up, they'll make it seem like a huge deal. and the worst part is, they'll never let it go. Why do people do this? Like I said, people don't like to lose. When they're feeling jealous, they're desperate to beat you at something. They start dumb arguments and refuse to give up because they're feeling insecure around you. They need these little petty victories to feel good about themselves. Number 5, blind hatred. Sometimes we don't know what to do with our jealousy. We can't pinpoint why we care so much, so jealousy quickly turns into hatred. Imagine your friend is going on and on about a band they dislike. Every chance they get, they rant about how terrible their music is. But if they really hate them, why is this band on their mind so much? More often than not, it's because they're trying to cover up how much they like them. It works pretty much the same way for people. When someone is jealous, they might say behind your back that they hate you. They might go out of their way to tell people how frustrating you are. But in reality, they want to be just like you. So, what do you do when you've got someone like this in your life? Is there any way to get past it? Unfortunately, the answer is usually no. These kinds of people are an almost constant source of negativity. Don't let them be an anchor in your life. If they can't understand their own feelings, it isn't your job to fix things for them. You can try to be positive and kind, but until they're ready to accept their jealousy, you might as well keep your distance. Number 6, stealing individuality. Jealousy isn't always negative. Sometimes you're jealous of someone because you respect them. Maybe you want to be like them. You might admire the choices they've made or the risks they've taken. Or you like their style and wish you could do something similar. Whatever your reasons are, when you respect someone, you naturally start to imitate them. There's an old saying that imitation is the highest form of flattery. And it's true. When someone copies you, they're using you as a role model. They're saying you're living the kind of life they want to live. Over time, this practice has become a staple part of our culture. As you grow and learn, you look to the people around you to guide your choices. You might imitate your parents' eating habits or copy your grandfather's hobbies. As you get older, you look towards celebrities, mentors, and other icons to find your path. They can influence where you live, what you do, and even how you dress. My point is that imitation is natural, unavoidable, and relatively healthy. Pretty much everything you do in life, you do because someone you admire did it first. They gave you direction. They inspired you to take action. They might have opened doors that you didn't know existed. But just like you have role models, you might be a role model for someone else. That someone might imitate you because they're jealous of all that you've accomplished. When you're on the receiving end, this can be irritating. You might think you're being insulted or cheated. It's frustrating when you invest time and effort into something only for the next person to just copy your work. Or maybe it's just strange to watch someone else steal your individuality. Either way, remember that deep down, they're only imitating you because you're their definition of success. Number 7, inventing competition. This kind of jealousy can also make people more competitive. We strive to surpass the people we respect the most. In fact, that's the exact reason we try so hard to beat them. If we didn't respect them, we wouldn't care. Just think about any major league sport. People respect the highest ranking teams the most, so you get the biggest boost from winning against them. This is also how rivalries work. They rely on a healthy amount of jealousy to keep each side passionate and competitive. So how does this translate into your everyday life? Say you notice someone constantly competing against you at work. When you're trying to succeed, they're fighting you every step of the way. They might root for you to fail or try to bring you down. They may argue against your success, saying things like, "I deserved that promotion more than you." Whether they realize it or not, they only care so much because they admire you. In their mind, you aren't much different from a rival. You're someone they have to beat to feel proud and valuable. They get competitive because your success feels like their failure.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment.